Lots of luck was the answer there. President Biden brushing off the impeachment investigation. Just one of the many issues coming to a head as the president arrives in New York yesterday for the UN General Assembly. Kayleigh McEnany is here, kicking us off on a Monday morning.
Morning,
Great
Kayleigh.
to see you. Hello.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Poll numbers in the critical areas are not great, okay? I want to put them on screen. Call for number 3, guys. Here we go. President Biden's job performance, record high disapproval among key groups. Among them, suburban women at 61%, women in general 60%, and under the age of 45, people at 48% all disapprove. Kayleigh.
This is a huge problem, and when you combine that with his numbers among minority voters, he's vastly underperforming with Latinos, with black voters. So you have, I think, the best way to think of this general election so far. Let's say the nominee is Trump. We don't know yet. Not a single vote's been cast. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that's the case. You have this universe of 12% of voters who say in the middle, 6% we are probably voting Biden, 6% probably Trump. And on either end, you have 40% who say definitely Trump, definitely Biden. So when you look at that 12% in the middle, those are the persuadable voters you put up, the suburban women, minority voters. They're edging against Biden. And then when you look at his camp of 39% who say definitely voting Biden, they are not enthused. They do not want to turn out. They are not excited. A majority of Democrats saying Biden should not run in a CNN poll. So when you've got enthusiasm problems and persuadable problems, you got a lot of problems.
Yeah. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to listen to Democrats over the weekend that are in positions of power and positions to make a difference on what they're thinking. The New York Times wrote this, that the headline is "Top Democrats' Bullishness on Biden 2024 Collides with Voters' Worries." The discord between the party's elite and its voters leaves Democrats confronting a level of disunity over a president running for re-election not seen for decades. You know, this was whispered about 8 months ago. Then the volume got a little louder, and now they're openly arguing about should Biden stay in the race while he's president saying, guys, I'm staying in.
Exactly. I saw that New York Times piece. It was fascinating because it came on the heels of an NBC piece. This is a direct quote from an NBC piece. When party elites look at President Joe Biden, they see the second coming of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. When voters view the president, many see an old man. That's NBC. This is a theme we're seeing continually. James Carville ringing the alarm bell saying when we look at polling and we see a lack of enthusiasm among Democrats, the alarm bells start going off. So one of the most fascinating things about the race is the establishment, the elite, if you will, in the Democrat Party, and their voters. They are very much out of touch.
In the meantime, Kamala Harris is on this college tour across the country. She's pushing 2 issues based on what I can see. They're trying to take away your ability to vote, and also the topic of abortion. And abortion came up with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press with the former president, Donald Trump. He said he can bring all sides together if you give him the opportunity. Watch here.
I speak to a lot of Democrats. They want a number. There is a number, and there's a number that's going to be agreed to. And Republicans should go out and say the following, because I think the Republicans speak very inarticulately about this subject. Other than certain parts of the country, you're not going to win on this issue, but you will win on this issue when you come up with the right number of weeks, because Democrats don't want to be radical on the issue.
So in Florida, you know, it's a 6-week with Ron DeSantis there. I think the question that was posed to him is that would you agree to a 15-week federal ban? And he didn't say yes on that. He just gave the answer that he can bring all sides together.
Yes, this is someone who very clearly is playing to a general election audience. I mean, there's no two ways about that. Not wanting to be nailed down on a certain number of weeks. And it's kind of consensus making, the way Nikki Haley, we saw, what's the consensus? Where can we find consensus? He did not rule out federal legislation. He just said, where can we find consensus? I would maintain Republicans can be a little bit more bullish on this, try to win hearts and minds, because when you look continually, the Gallup poll, 37% think abortion should be banned in the second trimester. That is 13 weeks. So we need to make an argument as a party here. Do we want to be North Korea, China, one of 6 countries in the world that allows abortion after 20 weeks? Or do we want to be in the more humane vein of Western Europe? And that's an argument I think can be made. It has to be done carefully and compassionately.
And still no one is doing what you have suggested, which is talking about the care of the woman,
yes,
the child, and the care of them going forward, because pro-life should mean helping them.
I am befuddled that the Republican Party has not made themselves the party of supporting vulnerable women. I don't know why.
I think of you all the time now when I watch these responses. Thanks, Kayleigh. Great to have you here.
Thanks. Thanks.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.